Main Event Madness proudly presents, coming to you from the land down under, Sydney, Australia, and Naugatuck, Connecticut in the US of A. This is Wrestling's Rope Break. Here are your hosts, Joel the Man O'Brien and Eron the Mastermind Ramadanov.
Well, hello wrestling fans and welcome to Wrestling's Rope Break. Everything pro wrestling by the count of five. It is March 28th, 2015 here on Wrestling's Rope Break, and I am Joel the Man O'Brien, coming to you live from San Jose, California, with my co-host and my partner in crime, Eron the Mastermind Ramadanov. And Eron, we are, 48 hours into this incredible experience called WrestleMania weekend. From your end, obviously you're not experiencing what I'm experiencing, but how are you holding up?
Well, my experience is nothing compared to yours, but I'm excited that we're getting closer and closer. The anticipation's building, and I'm pumped.
Absolutely. And if tonight was any indication of how much the expectation is building, WrestleMania 31 on Sunday is going to be absolutely freaking incredible. We have so much to talk about tonight. Not really that much news coming out of this today. There's a lot of fan kind of hustle and bustle about Rey Mysterio potentially retiring, but obviously after Wale Mania, I heard that Rey Mysterio denied all rumors and that he will be definitely on the road for the foreseeable future. Eron, obviously Rey Mysterio is still here. What do you think?
Well, that's good. I mean, we talked about it the other day that, you know, him to retire is just, it's a little bit of a drastic move. I can understand him, you know, stepping away from the ring for a couple of days or a week or however long he needs, but for him to retire on such a freak accident would just be a little ridiculous in my opinion.
Yeah, but absolutely a dampener on his career if he was to end that way. And I will apologize up front for my voice. I have just come literally in the last half an hour from the NXT live event. To tell you a story, I was contemplating should I actually just stay at the Ring of Honor event in Redwood City, California, and I actually decided not to, and I spent pretty much a lot of taxi money getting to and from, even though I shared the taxi with a lot of people, and I ended up at the NXT live event. And I will say this, for those who haven't been following us on Twitter, and if you haven't been following us on Twitter or Facebook, I don't know what to tell you. Facebook.com/Wrestling's Rope Break is the best way to keep in touch with what I and Eron are doing for this weekend. If you haven't been following us on Facebook, I don't know what to tell you. NXT Live was easily one of the best live shows I've been to. And this is coming from someone that's been to 4 WrestleManias. Someone that's seen Dragon Gate shows, ROH shows, WrestleManias. You know, the Raws after WrestleManias. Mm-hmm. This was a combined effort of fans coming together that love NXT and love professional wrestling. And it was just oozing out of every single fan that was in the building. 5,000 strong. Amazing show. But before we get into NXT, I went to ROH. And now, Eron, did you actually see ROH in the end or what?
I actually didn't get a chance to see it, no. How was the show overall?
Well, unfortunately, I only got to see 3 matches. And a lot of people would say, well, why would you waste $85 to see 3 matches? Well, one thing I've learned already in this weekend, and what I've learned from my time going to WrestleMania, is that it's not about sometimes what you see within the ring. And that sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Sometimes it's just being a part of a pro wrestling crowd that loves pro wrestling. I saw 3 matches that really I could break down to you what was great, what was not. But really, when it comes down to it, the crowd made those matches even better. If you ask me for highlights, I saw a 6-pack challenge, a six-way match with the former NFL star Moose, Matt Sydal, C.W. Anderson, and they're all in the 6-way match. And check out Facebook.com/Wrestling's Rope Break for some of the videos for that. But that was an excellent 6-way, I should say, and that just really kept the fans going. I would have loved to stay for the rest of the show and see Joe maybe. Just very quickly, Eron, did Samoa Joe win the ROH title tonight, or what?
I'm not really sure. I haven't seen any results yet. There isn't any results on like WrestleZone or anything like that. So I guess by the time this episode comes out, we'll probably find out. But
how interesting! That's really, really weird. All I can say is that when I actually left the building, there was a part of me that said you should stay for the rest of the match. Jimmy Jacobs was in the middle of wrestling, and Aaron, I don't know if you actually know, but the Smarks in the arena knew. Jimmy Jacobs is actually leaving ROH and professional wrestling to join the WWE creative team. And he's actually going to do it in the next 2-3 weeks. So that was his farewell match. He was actually emotional coming out, and I knew a lot of fans. Actually, I carpooled it with a few girls going to ROH to NXT, and they were actually getting emotional at the fact that it was Jimmy Jacobs' last match. For someone that's been on the indie scene, Aaron, is Jimmy Jacobs a big deal or what?
From what I've heard, Toph's pretty big on PWP's Toph, Christopher Epps. He's pretty big with ROH and stuff, and he told me the other day that he's been an ROH staple for a long time, and he was surprised when he heard he's going to be a writer because he's still an active wrestler. I mean, he's one of those guys that doesn't really wrestle all the time. He's kind of a manager / wrestler. So Toph was telling me that he's a bit surprised that he's even considering joining a creative team because he's never heard anything about that before as far as him helping ROH with creative. Mm-hmm. But I'm happy for him, man. That's a great opportunity.
Like I said to the girls beforehand, I like anything that can benefit the creative team going into after WrestleMania is a benefit for WWE. So hopefully he can bring some life and some spice.
And he's from what Toph told me, he's the only wrestler on the creative writing staff. There's other, of course. Right. There's Hunter and I think Brian James, Road Dogg is a part of the creative staff, and Dusty Rhodes. But the writing team, there are no wrestlers on it. So this is a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, the coming weeks will tell us if this is going to make any difference. Obviously, when a writer joins the team, there's going to be a growing period. But Jimmy Jacobs, it was good to see you. For the match that I saw, he looked great, and I'm sure there'll be an itch coming later on, beckoning him back to the ring. So, but in the meantime, let's just talk about what everyone wants to talk about right now. For those who haven't been following us on Facebook, again, I don't know what you're doing. You should be following us on Facebook. I'm putting up videos of everything I see, but we had the privilege of going to NXT Live tonight. And was it worth me leaving ROH tonight for this event? Oh, hell freaking yes. I have never felt such energy in a small crowd like I did tonight. Before the bell even sounded, we were very close to bell time. They were announcing all the particulars, have no flashlights, no laser sights. The vibe while Eden was announcing this stuff was absolutely incredible. We wanted to see NXT stars, and we saw it straight off the bat, and it was amazing.
Well, that sounds great. And the coolest thing is a lot of people don't know is Triple H and Stephanie McMahon on their Twitter accounts posted some kind of live stream, and a lot of people didn't know about it. Like when some people heard about it on Facebook, and it kind of got around. But if you go over there right now, you can still see them. There are two videos I think 3 videos total. Two with Triple H, one with Stephanie, and Stephanie has a 36-minute video of her taping the NXT half of the NXT show. Then you've got Triple H with a point of view perspective of him coming out in the beginning of the show. Awesome. So great content. It kind of baffles me that they didn't promote this a little more. It was kind of like a secret in a sense, which is kind of cool, but definitely worth checking out if you go to their Twitter accounts. Maybe
it was part of the marketing plan for this whole event. There's a lot of talk of them why they weren't actually putting this on the network. By the way, when the show started, they had the full shebang. They had the WWE signature video. They had the NXT intro video. So I honestly felt that it was actually being recorded for the network. Aaron, obviously, stay on touch with that for the WWE Network and see what happens previously after this event. See if it actually gets on mainstream television. I honestly say, from coming back now and having a bit of time to think about the event, this is easily one of the best live events I've been to, and I've been to a lot of live events. It started with Tyler Breeze versus Hideo Itami. And at first, this event reeked of some competitors that really kind of benefited from being the opening match. Kenta has the international background. Tyler Breeze has, he has the underratedness that everyone agrees with. I don't know how you feel, Aaron, but I think he's the most underrated guy in WWE right now.
He's one of those guys that is kind of almost underappreciated because he is a solid wrestler, and he's one of those guys that he wasn't in the indies very much. He wasn't a recognized name, obviously, and he's just kind of come up, and he's, I've said it before, he's one of the best heels in professional wrestling in general. I mean, he's golden.
Absolutely, and I think he has great legs when it comes to the main event roster. Mm-hmm. But what made this match so incredible was something that we honestly didn't expect to see, and one thing that made me think that anything could happen on the show, and it was Hideo Itami, after months of teasing this move, hit the GTS like Kento could only hit this GTS in the middle of the ring for the 1-2-3. I don't know if the video I posted on Facebook.com/WrestlingIsRopeBreak covered how awesome this was, but easily next to Dolph Ziggler cashing in the Money in the Bank in 2013 against Alberto Del Rio. This is easily one of the greatest live event moments I've ever experienced in my life. It was unbelievably awesome, and everyone walked away from that match thinking, what the hell is going to happen next? Awesome. Did you actually end up seeing any of this, Aaron, or am I alone?
Oh my God, I was hanging on every video you posted on the Facebook page because I was dying to see more and more, and that video was incredible. And you said that you don't know if it conveyed through the video of how excited everyone was about that GTS. Trust me, it came across very well, and it's great that he finally hit it. And, like you said before about the TV thing, I'm not so sure that this isn't going to be on the network eventually. Maybe they do something. Like you said, they treated it like it was on the network, correct? Like they had the video packages and stuff.
Exactly right, yep.
So, it's not out of the realm of possibility that it does end up on the network. But, yeah, I mean, trust me, it came across very well. And all the videos you posted on the Facebook page was incredible.
Awesome. Well, we actually led into Jason Jordan versus Bull Dempsey. Mm-hmm. Again, Triple H being smart, just giving us a buffer match that, we don't really emotionally invest in like we should. Jason Jordan picked up the win over Bull Dempsey. Mm-hmm. It was kind of hard to feel who was the heel and who was the babyface in this, but Jason Jordan was the heel and won the match. So obviously he has some plans for Jason. I'm kind of happy to see this. When it comes to the whole tag team that he's left behind, I would like to see Ty Dillinger get his chance to shine. I think out of the team, Jordan and Dillinger, I think Dillinger's the better wrestler. I think he's much more in tune with how to put together a great match. So I would like to get to see him maybe slightly repackaged and see him in the future. But for this night, in the buffer match, after the amazing GTS spot with Hideo Itami, we saw Jason Jordan defeating Bull Dempsey.
Well, I mean, that says a lot. Having somebody like Bull Dempsey out there, almost doing a job to somebody like Jason Jordan, who's obviously going to get some kind of push, is a pretty big deal. And you said, you'd like to see Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger's, I've always liked him in that tag team role. Outside of it, I don't know what it is about him. It just, he doesn't come across as like a superstar. He doesn't come across as a larger of life character. He kind of comes across a little generic almost. But his in-ring performance is great. He's one of the best. He's a little underrated as far as his in-ring work. But Jason Jordan has tons of potential as far as the look and his athleticism and all that stuff. So I'm happy he's getting somewhat of a push.
Absolutely. When it comes to the negatives of this event, the audio in the building, I have to say, just sucked. It sucked. And you really had to listen carefully to the promos that happen, be it Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. But obviously these guys are so good at what they do that they can articulate what they need to say well with the sound system that they're given.
What do you mean, like it wasn't coming across? Or
No, honestly, some of the promos that came through, they tried to convey it with the people they had, but it was so muffled. It was it was a muffled kind of sound through the whole event. Eden, you know what? Very quickly, I'll give some props to NXT's Eden. She did a tremendous job conveying the emotion of the fans. It wasn't just like this match is set for one fall. she would fill in and say, like, how awesome was that match? Like, I still have goosebumps, and like give an emotional response to what we felt. And the crowd was receptive to that. I've not really been a big fan of Eden. I think she's very, like, almost like, chalkboard to the ears kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And that's just me, but like she really showed a lot of emotion in what she saw. And maybe this is how we should treat ring announcers in the future. Like reacting to what we've seen, and just give us a sentence or two of how you feel, and let the crowd react to that. And that's what she did tonight, and it really, really worked because everyone was very receptive to everything. So
that's actually a really good point because if you watch the UFC, Bruce Buffer, if you ever watch him announce the main event, he is just turning red, almost like when Paul Heyman announces Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
you make a good point that I'd like to see all announcers kind of take that on and really just beef up what's about to happen. So that's a good point.
Exactly right. The only negatives I have at this point for the show, just very quickly before we continue on with what happened on the show, was that the audio sucked, and there was a section of the audience that was blinded by the ring lights. It was very interesting. They were facing the entrance ramp, and the lights that were meant to be shining on the ring obviously weren't directed towards the ring. So the fans couldn't actually see the ring because they were blinded by the light. So we got the fuck the light chants. We can't see, and they actually adjusted them during a match, and the fans broke out in a yes, yes, yes chant. Like, it was unbelievably, like, they just went, like, the whole arena just went, yes, 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 because it's almost like the fans that could see sympathized with what they were going through, because, like, they were chanting this for about 10 minutes. When they finally got what they wanted, it was almost like the fans wanted those fans to see what they were seeing. If you understand what I mean?
I completely understand, yeah.
Amazing. It was so good. We all did a yes, yes, yes chant for like about 90 seconds. It was fantastic. But we ended up leading into a Bayley, Alexa Bliss defeating Becky Lynch and Dana Brooke. So Dana Brooke is the fitness model that NXT has been promoting for about 2-3 weeks. And they've been putting her on the road as they should. And to be honest, she's green, like most people that come into NXT besides the indie darlings. She was great. She was really, really good. She was an aggressive heel. She played off the fact that no one knew her. And she played off the fact that, a lot of people would hate her off the bat. So that was a good thing. Bayley was absolutely loved in this arena because she comes from San Jose, California. There was a post-match promo that I don't know if you saw, Aaron, for the video. They took the time to give Bayley some time to, give some love to San Jose. But her reaction was, at the time, the biggest reaction of the night. And yes, the GTS spot happened, but it was Bayley that got the biggest reaction of the night. So that shows you that there's something there beyond the hometown favorite. And the only negative I have for the match was that Alexa Bliss kind of let Bayley have a moment. And really, if Bayley had a chance to think about it, I would have been at least taking the time to raise Alexa Bliss's hand, because she kind of sat back and let her have the moment, and like even up the ramp, not even raising her hand. It was almost like she was a second fiddle. Like take a chance with the moment that you have. When it comes, it kind of sucked, but regardless, it was good. That led to Solomon Crow versus Kalisto. So you'd be thinking that there'd be a lot of people chanting Sami Callihan. There really, really wasn't, actually. There was a lot of concentration in seeing like if this match was going to actually have legs. And Kalisto, the former Samurai del Sol, showed that he actually belongs as a singles competitor. He came up with the Lucha Dragons music, but obviously the emphasis was on Sami Callihan, Solomon Crow. And you know what? Out of all the matches I've seen Solomon Crow, this was a really, really good showing for him. The fans were respective. They didn't really pop for him because he's obviously in that kind of like, in-between kind of character. Do you have any memories of Sami Callihan in your indie career, Aaron?
I don't really. I've heard of him, but I didn't know really much of his work. And when I saw him debut on NXT, he didn't really impress me very much. So I'm still, and we haven't really seen him very much on NXT. So it's, I don't know. It's been a little weird, and I don't know. His build so far has been a little odd, but
all I can say is that the finish of this match was awesome. For those who didn't see it, Kalisto tried to finish up Callahan with a spinning Hurricanrana off the top, but somehow Callahan reversed it into a calf killer. Now, I would say calf killer is not the version of the submission that I remember AJ Styles doing. It's the one where you take a guy's knee and bend it over your neck. What's the
okay.
Do you know the move I'm talking about, Aaron?
I know the move you're talking about, but the name escapes me.
So I always remember Jericho and Mysterio doing that spot, and it leading to the Walls of Jericho. Yeah, you obviously remember that from So imagine that with that submission, and that's how the match ended. I thought it was a really, really cool finish to the match. And that led us to Baron Corbin versus Rhino. Now, this match, poor Baron Corbin. If there's ever an evidence that fans don't like something shoved down their mouths, this was the match. You had an established star like Rhino put out there to put over Baron Corbin, and in no way, shape, or form was any fan in that building accepting Baron Corbin winning. And it's a shame because, Baron Corbin worked hard, and he was very vocal in the match. He reacted to the fans. He wasn't just a generic kind of big guy doing his spots and trying to follow a routine. He was great. He was really, really good, but the fans wanted Rhino to beat the shit out of him. And Baron Corbin won the match with the end of days, even though the fans were chanting ECW. The fans were chanting ECW in 2015. Yeah. That's crazy. Aaron, do you realize that ECW died in 1997, 1998?
Yeah,
and they're still chanting.
It's incredible.
Like some fans I ran into this weekend were like, I can't wait to see Paul Lee at WrestleMania so I can chant ECW. Some fans said that to me.
Jesus Christ.
That was my reaction regardless, but it was his first Mania, so I was like, man, you chant what you want to chant. I guarantee I'm not going to be chanting with you, but anyway. And end of the match saw Rhino actually spearing Baron Corbin, which actually surprised me, so obviously it sounds like maybe they could be doing a Baron Corbin heel turn. Which that was a selling point for that show. But again, it's a house show. Anything can happen. And that was that. So that led to Sami Zayn. Sami freaking Zayn coming out and doing a promo after intermission. Now, this was a inspired impromptu promo by Sami Zayn. There was no scripted stuff. It was not watch NXT on the WWE Network for $9.99. This was Sami Zayn talking about how frustrated he was he couldn't perform in front of us for WrestleMania weekend, that his injury was real, that Kevin Owens' injury was real, and that both of us were bummed that they couldn't perform in front of us. And he really kind of confirmed, he went back and compared his time now to where he was about the time we had the 2 out of 3 Falls match with Cesaro. So he brought that match up and said how, imagine me now, imagine me here. I'm a former NXT champion. We went through all these trials and tribulations as fans, and here we are, and Sami Zayn's going to be NXT champion. It was the best module of history and current time, and Sami Zayn delivered it like Sami Zayn does when he's pissed off and couldn't be somewhere. Amazing. Interrupted by Kevin freaking Owens. In any other situation, a heel would be cheered, but somehow Kevin Owens found some way of taking credit for NXT's success for the last year and a bit, and say that the reason it's so successful is because I'm NXT champion. Ingenious way of making him still a heel. And the fans ate up the eventual rematch between Zayn and Owens. They teased it fantastically here. Zayn's injured, Owens injured, but Zayn said, I'm injured, but what the hell? Let's have a fight. Teased it, but of course, Kevin Owens said no because I got my knee scoped a few weeks ago and I need to heal. Fantastic. And usually in house shows this is great, but this was just awesome stuff between two pros. So do you see any of this on the Stephanie McMahon endorsed app or what?
No. She didn't have this on there. She had the first half of the show. I think it stopped right after the Bayley match with Alexa Bliss and the other two. But yeah, when the video you posted with Sami Zayn, was it just me or were the fans not really as receptive as I would have thought?
To Owens, Zayn, or just the whole thing?
To Zayn.
The fans lost their stuff, but if any time there was quietness with the fans, I honestly think that they were actually listening to Zayn. There was no hustling, there was no heckling, there was no what chants or anything like that. I will say this: there was a few what chants for Owens promo. And Owens, I wish I got it on tape, but Owens just absolutely ripped all the fans apart. That chant. What was it? There was a time where he said what? He goes, I swear to God, you say what, but at the same time, I've got gold around my waist or something like that, and you guys have what change in your pocket, and it's something along those lines. It was just heelish, but he got a rounding applause when he said whatever he said. It was fantastic. We're talking about random applauses. Charlotte versus Sasha Banks. Now, this match was #This is wrestling. It was amazing. It was great. It was something that you watch and you step away from just for a moment and think, this is female pro wrestling right here, right now, in front of my eyes. And I can't help but think that this stuff should be featured on WWE television right here, right now. It was fantastic. It was a back and forth match. It was Charlotte in her comfort zone, no promos, just talking shit in the ring and getting stuff done. Sasha Banks just looked like an absolute champion. And if there's, I got asked the question when I left from her fans, we're talking about Sasha Banks and Charlotte. Who would you rather see on the main roster? And really, the more I think about it, right here, right now, it's Sasha Banks. I obviously, you didn't see the match that I saw, Aaron, but when it comes to Sasha Banks and Charlotte, who do you think?
That's tough. If I really had to think about it, I'd probably go with Sasha Banks as well, because I think somebody like Charlotte, there's really no one else on the main roster right now that's kind of like Sasha Banks. I mean, you have the caddy, you have Cameron, but she's just absolute garbage. And, someone like Sasha who can actually wrestle in the ring and bring the kind of attitude that she has. And she's just a superb trash talker. I mean, she's so fantastic. Good. Yeah. I remember her title match she had against Alexa Bliss. She was just talking trash the entire way to the ring. It was just, I love it.
She's very much like Kevin Owens in the ring. I watched Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship on Wednesday, and the one thing I took away from that match is find me someone else in pro wrestling that makes chin locks as entertaining as Kevin Owens, because he's talking so much shit to the fans, he's talking shit to his opponent, and he's making those dead moments entertaining and watchable.
Like you said, I don't think of anybody else. I can't think of anybody else that makes chin locks as entertaining as he does. I mean, he's just great.
He's awesome, and the promo that I saw tonight was fantastic. But back to the Sasha Banks Charlotte match. Sasha Banks legitimately beat Charlotte by submission. No bullshit. No suspect finish. It was all about Sasha Banks beating Charlotte clean. And it was a tussle. There was many times in which she ended up with a bank statement, but at the end of the day, she won by submission, and she looked fantastic. And I felt so good after this match. It was and Charlotte got a standing ovation. And that's the respect that fans have for Charlotte and what she's doing. She may not have the charisma, but in the ring, she's untouchable. She's fantastic.
Well, the video you posted, it felt like people were had the feeling that might have been her last kind of performance for NXT, because a lot of people are suspecting that she's going up to the main roster after WrestleMania. So
sure.
that could have been her last match.
Well, if I had the privilege of seeing that was an awesome last match. She did a very Flair-esque kind of finish and made the champion look good or the winner look good, so I can't argue with that. How could this match be topped? Easily by Finn Balor and Adrian Neville. This match just symbolized what the greatness of NXT is all about. It's all about taking these internet darlings / indie greats and putting them in a situation for them to perform on a grand scale, and knowing that the performance that they put forward is going to see a greater audience. There's some great wrestlers out there that just want a spotlight to show what they can do, and Finn Balor and Adrian Neville did that tonight. I chuckle at the fact that for some of those fans that were in the building tonight, they haven't seen Prince Devitt and Park go at it. Me and Aaron have had the privilege, and a lot of other fans that are listening have had the privilege of seeing go at it in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And now they have the chance to do it on the main stage, and it's fantastic. Finn Balor came out with his face paint, and little nuances like that make me feel like a wrestling fan, and that Triple H is listening to the fans and going, this is a big moment for them. Let's make it feel like it's a big moment by giving the characters that have specialties. Let's just do it here. It's a house show. Having Finn Balor come out in that makeup and do the entrance like he did, and giving the fans like a chance to soak it all up it's freaking amazing. It really, really was. And that was before the bell rang. Again, the match was just stellar. All up and down the card, from the finish to the high spots to the punches. It was fantastic, but everything was well thought out. Was it as good as their takeover match? No, but at the same time, you have to realize this is a house show, and they realized it too. But they gave us enough to love it. Finn Balor got the win. Adrian Neville has accepted his role as being kind of an enhancement talent for the time being. That's fine. That's totally fine. But at the end of the day, Finn Balor looked like a star. And his interaction with Jim Ross at ringside got a great reaction from the fans because, it's Jim Ross doing a spot on television, endorsing, just by chatting with Finn Balor, endorsing Finn Balor was fantastic. All I can say, Aaron, if they come to New York or they come to Connecticut,
yep, I'm there.
Make sure you go to this event, record it, and come back to me, and we'll do a show about it because it was fantastic. An amazing night of pro wrestling.
All the videos I saw from you looked great. So, I believe you 100%.
Yeah, well, this is only the start, ladies and gentlemen. For those who are following these shows, this is day 2 wrapped up by Wrestling is Rope Break. We have so much to look forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow is the biggest day for the Wrestling Rope Break calendar going into WrestleMania weekend. We have WrestleMania Fan Access. We have the Jim Ross one-man show that we'll be featuring and hopefully getting an interview with JR. We'll see how it goes. And having a Hall of Fame induction ceremony to cap off the night. It's going to be a massive, massive night of pro wrestling. Hopefully my voice has a chance to relax. But there's so much to look forward to. We've got WrestleMania Sunday on Sunday. We have Raw on Monday. There's so many things to look forward to. And Aaron, what do you think? Is there so much to look forward to or what?
Oh my God! Like I said at the start of the show, as we grow closer to WrestleMania, and speaking of WrestleMania in general, I just watched the WrestleMania Today, the series that WWE is doing, where they did this last year as well. They're doing like 2-hour almost pre-shows or previews every day at Access, and today. Just great content. A lot of people just go, "Oh, it's WWE garbage. They're just gonna hype up their own matches, and that's all it is." Actually, there was a lot of kind of almost not shoot videos, but the wrestlers were themselves, and they were just talking, and it was great. Like Kid and Cesaro came on the panel.
All right.
They were genuine. They were legit. They were real. They weren't the characters. They were just having fun with Byron Saxton, Renee Young, and Corey Graves.
How did Corey Graves go?
He was good. He was good. He had some trouble because he's used to doing the NXT stuff.
Yep.
And he's been doing the Raw. He's been doing the Raw pre-show, and he's been doing some WWE stuff. But he was messing up a couple times. Didn't really know what to say sometimes. But that's going to come with he's only been doing this for a couple months, and he's gonna get better. I think he has high potential to be one of WWE's top color commentators if they decide to go with him in the future. But he was great. I felt like they had another cool promo of Taker and Bray Wyatt. Oh, I just posted it on the Facebook page just now, and this promo is absolutely ridiculous. It's a brand new promo. They just put it out, and I'm assuming it's going to be on WrestleMania before the match. You know how they have those promos. Joel, I'm telling you right now, if you're going to watch any promo, this one is just incredible. It gave me goosebumps from the start to finish. And they did it without Taker even showing up once during this build. Yeah, and they pieced it together, and it was incredible. So, I mean, so much stuff coming out of WrestleMania today. And
like what you have to take from the Taker Bray Wyatt feud is that Bray Wyatt has single-handedly carried this feud.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's done with these promos. And there's still a buzz. It's not the most popular feud in WrestleMania, but it's still a feud that everyone's thinking about, and that's a testament to Bray Wyatt. So I will definitely check that show out. Any other notes from WrestleMania today, or is there anything to take away from the show that people should check out?
Yeah, absolutely. There's Paul Heyman did an interview with them as well. He was awesome, as Paul Heyman always is.
Okay, so very 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 quickly for those. Brock Lesnar marks that are thinking that Heyman's going to turn on Brock Lesnar and side with Roman Reigns. Was there another hint for that, for Esau, or was it just a standard stock promo?
Not really. It was kind of them just kind of shooting the breeze, and Heyman was kind of playing around with the guy. He always does that. Whenever even in the interviews he does with outside of WWE with Sam Roberts and Peter Rosenberg, he just likes to have fun and play around with them.
Yep.
But the one thing, I don't know if you saw the video that Heyman put up on his YouTube channel, Heyman Hustle. Wow, that video. There's this piece of a video in that video where Heyman and Lesnar are backstage after the CM Punk and Brock Lesnar match at SummerSlam. Or am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
But for those who are listening, that video actually is posted on Wrestling's Roadbreak. Just scroll down, you'll find it. And
perfect.
Yeah, Aaron, just tell us what it's all about.
Yeah, backstage, Lesnar and Heyman backstage after that match with Punk at SummerSlam 2013. Brock has this the ice on his shoulder. He just rips it off, and it looks like an absolute monster. And then he turns to Paul and says, there you go, I got rid of him for you. And then he says, now you know what I want next. And and Heyman goes, yes, sir. And that's it. So I don't know what that could have been. Either it was the WWE title, I'm assuming, or who knows. But it's a little hint right there. I don't know what that is, or if there's some master plan that he is putting together. I don't know.
Yeah, that video is definitely worth watching, and I'm sure the fans in the next 48 hours are going to read into this and see what they think. I think there's enough hints out there to say that there's going to be some kind of development between Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. How that's going to play into the finish, who knows?
And he at the end of the video, he has this long-winded promo of how why does he have to hate Roman Reigns, and how wrestling is why do people have to hate each other? And he has this long-winded promo on saying he doesn't hate Roman Reigns, he respects Roman Reigns again. So it's he's just pounding this point home.
Yes, and at the same time it's Paul Heyman. So
but this could be Paul Heyman just screwing with everybody because he knows everyone is reading into it.
Well, at the same time, I kind of read into that saying that Paul Heyman making a point of it. He's a fucking genius. And at the same time, what I was about to say is that there's more intrigue in this main event. Yeah. Imagine Brock Lesnar not signing. Imagine these videos not coming out. There is legitimate interest in this main event. Mm-hmm. And you know what? It's an 11th hour, and I'll give WWE all the credit in the world for creating interest for this. Mm-hmm. It may have fell into the lap. I'm not exactly sure, but WrestleMania 31 is literally hours away, so we are getting very, very close. But we're going to wrap up the show tonight, guys. Thank you so much for listening wherever you may be. Know that we are going to be here at the same time tomorrow night, wrapping up WrestleMania Fan Access, the JR one-man show, and Hall of Fame with Main Event Madness's John Curry. And friends are going to be here in the studio talking about WrestleMania. So there's so much to look forward to. Aaron, Get a good night's sleep because we're going to have a busy day tomorrow. And for you guys listening, hope you enjoy Wrestling's Rope Break. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Wrestling's Break, and on Twitter at Wrestling R Break, capital W, capital R, capital B. And yes, enjoy the show tonight. Enjoy more shows for the weekend. Good night, everybody.